Year 5 and happy Wednesday and welcome to our PSHCE lesson. So PSHCE, if you've forgotten what it stands for Personal, Social, Health and Citizenship Education. That's quite a mouthful. So today's lesson, we're going to be exploring the skills and attributes of an effective learner. And to start us off, I want you to think about what those words, attribute and skill, mean. So please pause the video and have a think about that now. Okay, on the next page, I've got some definitions for this. So an attribute is a characteristic or a quality that contributes towards something. So in this case, we're talking about a characteristic or a quality that contributes towards somebody learning well, if they're an effective learner. If it was an attribute of a footballer, for instance, it would be a characteristic or a quality that contributes towards somebody being able to play football. So that characteristic could be somebody who is fit and healthy, somebody who likes being active. But remember, we're thinking about learning well, being an effective learner. A skill is something that you can do, so a verb. So a skill for a footballer might be being able to dribble the ball or having control over the ball, having coordination. But we're thinking about effective learning. So we now need to think about what actually is effective learning. If something is effective, then it means that it kind of works, it's beneficial, and learning, we're learning new things every day. So what is an effective learner? I've given you a little activity here to start you thinking about that. So what I want you to do is look at the ideas that are in black here, and I want you to sort them into things that you think an effective learner would say and things that an effective learner wouldn't say. So imagine if someone said, "I give up." Would that be an effective learner speaking or a not effective learner speaking? Have a little think about this. And there's not really a right or wrong, just go with your ideas, okay? Pause the video and see if you can sort them now. Okay, so on the next page, I've actually had a little go at sorting some of these. And I think actually that some of them might belong in more than one category, depending on how you look at it. But this is how I've sorted them. You might have got a different idea to me. So things an effective learner might say, I've put, "I wonder if." Now I like that phrase because that shows me if someone was saying, "Oh, I wonder if it will be cloudy tomorrow. I wonder if the sugar will dissolve." That shows an inquisitive mind. It shows somebody who's active in their learning and thinking about things, possibilities in the future. So I think that would be something that an effective learner would say. "I'm a bit stuck on." Now I put that one in here because I think that shows, if someone's saying that, it shows that they know themselves and that they're being honest. If they're stuck on something in particular, then they're not afraid to sort of say, "Yeah, I'm stuck on that." And then they might say, "Please, can I have some help?" Because sometimes actually being able to figure out what it is that you're struggling with and then being brave enough to ask for help, that can be a bit tricky. But that is something that effective learners have to do. We have to push through times when we are stuck, because everyone gets stuck in life. I put this one on here as well. "I know I'm tired, so I have to concentrate on," so they might be concentrating on a maths problem or some writing. Now again, this says to me that this person knows themselves. Perhaps they didn't get a very good night's sleep, but rather than using that as an excuse to say, "No, I can't do my work," and giving up, they're sort of acknowledging, "Right, I know I'm tired, so I know that I've got to make more of an effort with this." So it shows self-awareness and somebody making an effort to me. These were the things that I put on the things that an effective learner perhaps wouldn't say. So "I give up." That shows to me that somebody might try and quit early on in a challenge. We do have to persevere sometimes in our learning. This one, "I'll stay up a bit later." So I know that sometimes we want to stay up as late as we can. Maybe there's a film we want to watch or a game we want to play. But somebody who says, "Oh, I'll stay up a bit," that maybe signals to me that they're not thinking about the tomorrow and the fact that our brains need sleep in order to be able to, pay attention and in order to take in new information. So someone who says, "Oh, I'll stay up a bit later," that maybe signals to me that they're not putting their learning first and their learning needs. "I don't care." Now, this is one that I hear sometimes. And I think, if somebody doesn't care about something, maybe it shows frustration with the task. So rather than maybe saying, "Oh, I'm a bit stuck on this," perhaps they're jumping to "I don't care" as a way out from their learning, a way out from an activity. This is another one. I'll do it tomorrow. That's a little bit like I'll stay up a bit later. This shows to me somebody maybe who's a bit distracted and isn't managing their distractions and pushing through, making sure they're concentrating on something. And this one I put, I don't know. So sometimes it's very easy to say, I don't know, as the answer, rather than actually committing to thinking about it and sort of going with your gut feeling. So it's interesting though, because I thought that some of these at the bottom might actually fit on either side, because an effective learner might say, I don't care if I can't do it, I'm going to keep trying. So perhaps you might have thought about something like that. Or maybe they might say, I'll do it tomorrow, because maybe they're tired or they're hungry or something's happened that's upset them and they know that they'll be able to concentrate on it better tomorrow. So that one is one that could go in both sides. And actually this one as well, because if you are asked a question by somebody and you don't know, you could just sit there silently looking scared. Oh, I don't know. Or you could say, actually, I don't know. Please, could you help me with that? And so that one again could go on either side. Okay, let's carry on. So again, to get us thinking about effective learning and ineffective learning in a bit more depth, and to get us start to think about skills and attributes, please look at the thought bubbles of the scenario below. So we've got some people and they're in a learning situation. I suppose this could be an online learning situation if she was on the screen and they were watching, or it could be a classroom situation. So look at the thought bubbles of the people below. There are different thought bubbles. And I want you to think, from what's given there, the information that's given, is each person ready to learn? And what advice could you give them to be ready to learn if you thought that they weren't ready to learn? So pause the video and have a think about that. And you might want to write down some ideas. Okay, so looking at the thought bubbles of these people, this person, I'm not sure if they're ready to learn, because it looks a little bit like they're looking out of the window, so perhaps they are not concentrating. So we can turn that around and we could say that concentration, being able to concentrate and manage distractions, could be the skill that you need to be an effective learner. This one down here, I can't remember. So if somebody can't remember something, perhaps that's holding them back in their learning. So perhaps some advice that we could give to them would be memorizing some things outside of school. You know, if it's something that can't be remembered, like a times table fact or a spelling, perhaps the advice would be to practice that. And so a good skill would be somebody who commits to practicing on a task, someone who commits to regular practice as well, not being distracted or saying, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. So I wonder if you came up with some similar ideas. I'm sure you came up with loads of ideas, because there's no right or wrong. It's just about you being active and thinking about this. On the next page, there's a big list of skills and attributes that I've compiled from various places. And some of them are skills and attributes of an effective learner, but I have thrown in one or two that I think wouldn't be, just to keep you on your toes. So what I want you to do is just read through the different skills and attributes, and I want you to choose the 3 that you think are the most important for effective learning. There we go. But I don't just want you to choose 3, I want you to actually choose them and be able to explain why you think they are important for effective learning. So if I just demonstrate that quickly, you might say, okay, I think playing and exploring is one of the most important attributes for effective learning, because you have to be able to be creative and use imagination. And when you're playing, you're using imagination because you might be pretending, you might be exploring, so trying things out in different ways. So try and give as full an explanation as you can, because you are in year 5. Okay, on the next page, you'll be able to use this list to support you in your task. On the next page, there is a little explanation of possible 2 tasks that you could do in response to your learning this lesson. So the first one I'm going to model for you, because this is something that I think lots of you will like to do. So I want you to think of someone famous who you admire, and you can use these questions to develop your thoughts. So I'll let you read those in a moment when you pause the video. And then I want you to draw a picture of the person, or you could write their name in a creative way. And then I want you to thought shower words to describe the skills and the attributes of that particular person. Things that make them an effective learner, things that have made them effective in whatever they've been doing in the past. Perhaps they've learnt the skills of playing football and they're a professional footballer. Perhaps they're an activist. So I'd like to do that for Greta Thunberg now. So Greta Thunberg is somebody who I admire, even though she's a lot younger than me. So she has achieved Children's Nobel Peace Prize, and she's achieved the attention of many people across the world, adults, children alike, in campaigning for protecting the environment. And so I really respect her for that, because being committed to caring for our planet is something that I feel is really important. There are other things that I could talk about, but what I want to do is stop sharing my screen right now, and I want to actually show you, demonstrate to you a piece of work. So I've not done this too much before, so let me just see if I can do this now. Oh, I have to just remove the pin from here. Okay, so here's something that I made earlier. So I went onto the internet and I found a picture of Greta Thunberg, and here she is. And she was pictured famously holding a banner outside, I think it was the Swedish Parliament houses. And her banner said, "School strike for climate." So she was campaigning for climate change. So I've done a little sketch of that picture, and I've started to write her name in a creative way. So, you know, be creative. I might just finish that off here. So I've got Thunder, I need an R. So if I just demonstrate drawing an R and then a G, I just sort of picked a style that I liked. Have a think about that. I might write the actual translation of this underneath. So I just use a pen here, it can show up a bit more clearly. Okay, so school strike. Climate. So the task now was to thought shower different words and phrases about her attributes, or your famous person's attributes and skills. So a major one that I would say for Greta Thunberg is determination. I think that she was determined to get people to listen to her. She sat outside and did her strike. She also went on a hunger strike. She didn't go to school in protest. Yeah, you could always read about her if you are inspired by Greta Thunberg as well. So I might thought shower determined. Okay, here we go. So another word that comes to mind, I think that she was a creative thinker, because, you know, to come up with the idea of sitting in front of Parliament with her sign, she came up with lots of creative slogans as well, to play on people's minds and get them thinking about climate. So I would definitely put creative thinker. That's another skill. So I might write that one down here. So I might actually go underneath here, use my T. This is me thinking creatively. So this is a thought shower, where we just write down as many ideas as we can, really. I'll just move that along a little bit, sorry, so you can see my R at the bottom. Another word that comes to mind is brave. I think that Greta Thunberg had to be very brave to do what she did, because she had to kind of contradict the wishes of her parents, perhaps the wishes of her school as well. So I think brave is a big one. So I'm going to write that one in big words here, big letters. And I think you get the idea. So I'm going to leave it there. So it would be great to see what you come up with. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen just for a moment, because an alternative to doing a poster about a famous person would be to design a poster that explains how to be an effective learner. And you could be specific. Perhaps you could design the poster about being an effective learner when you're learning at home. And then there are some questions there for you to think about that. It would be really great to see what you come up with. There's a lot of scope here for being creative and using sort of artistic flair. So please send whatever you come up with into the Year 5 email. Okay, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.